I already know some doomsday preppers out there are not gonna like this video. John, you didn't cover the surge protection features in any of the units, just in case my power bank was plugged in during the rolling blackout that will inevitably end society. All right, we're not talking about that stuff today. We're gonna actually try to break this down in real world use applications, like how heavy it is, how much it costs, how you would actually use it, and does it work well? So today we are talking about power, solar power, and power in the backcountry, in the outdoors. As many of you know, I am a cinematographer, videographer, and I work in some remote locations, sometimes for days, weeks on end, with batteries and drones and things like that. I need power to charge my devices. I am down to 4 different power banks at different sizes that I use for different trips and different things. So let's start from the biggest unit and we'll work our way down to the smallest. So this right here is the Rockpals 500 watt portable solar generator. I love this thing. This thing is so awesome. This thing comes in for about 500 bucks. I have never actually gone through this bank before and needed to recharge it. It's super easy to charge. You can use your car. You can obviously plug it in. There are solar panels that we're gonna get to in a second. It has 2 AC ports, multiple USB ports, Type-C ports. It takes about 8 hours to charge, weighs about 15 pounds. And this is the baby that I take with me in my car when I'm car camping, when I'm glamping, maybe if you have an RV. This is the puppy that I would recommend. I use it to work on my laptop, charge the drone, charge the cameras. I like to plug my string lights into this. People plug their phones into it. It just really makes for a real cool unit. And I also have this 100 watt Rockpals solar panel unit. This thing is pretty awesome. First of all, this case is awesome. I love this briefcase. All of your cords are back here in this little pocket, nice and neatly arranged. I don't know if you've heard this, but solar takes quite a bit. So you need a few solar power panels to actually charge a device. But with this big old thing, oh my gosh, I can't even reach. You can leave this thing charging at your camp while you go for a day hike or something like that. And this actually works. It'll give you some juice. But really in the end, unless you're like an RVer really living on the road for weeks at a time, you won't really need to keep this charged up. For your week-long camping trip, this will work just fine. You wouldn't even need this. Okay, the next size we have is the Goal Zero Sherpa 100 watt unit. This is kind of my mid-size unit. This is the smallest portable charger that I own with the actual AC inverter, so you can really plug in your laptop or something like that. It's got 2 USB ports. It's got some USB-C ports. So this really has everything something big like this has in a 2-pound package, which I like. Now, it is only 100 watts, and honestly, it doesn't power like a big unit will. For example, I have a drone. 2 drone battery charges, and this thing is dead. But still, at 2 pounds with an inverter, I mean, that's kind of nice. It's about 300 bucks. Now, you're probably asking yourself, John, what about a solar panel? Yes, well, all right. That's where it gets tricky, right? This is a Goal Zero 10 watt solar panel. It's about this big. I gotta say, Goal Zero, f you. Why even sell this thing? This thing does not work. 10 watts is just not enough. You are not gonna get enough power to charge this thing. This will give you like an extra 5% if you run it on the day. I used to hook this thing to my backpack and plug it into this and try to hike with this thing. Doesn't work. This is just garbage. Really, to power this with solar, you need at least 20 watts. Here's 20 watts. Now, this is another about 2 pounds. So if you're looking at backpacking, let's say, with this thing, you're looking at 4 extra pounds that you gotta take in your bag. And for a lot of us, that's a lot for power, right? I've done it before, it works. What I think that this thing is good for in the real actual world application with it is if you're doing some sort of like an ATV trip or a horseback riding trip. Or I use it a lot on rivers where I can use this at night, and then during the day, I actually lay this out on the raft and plug this in, and I get some juice for the day. But to actually carry this if you're on foot is pretty tough, but at 2 pounds with a real AC inverter that you can plug like your computer in, that's pretty nifty. For long multi-day backpacking trips, this is usually what I take. This is the Anker PowerCore Solar, and this thing weighs 1 pound. It'll cost you anywhere between 70 and 100 bucks. This thing is all work and no play. There is no like nice screen like the Goal Zero has to give you all your data and everything like that. There's only 2 ports, 1 USB-C port, 1 USB port, and then as you can see, most of this power bank is an actual solar charger. You don't have to take an extra solar panel. This thing will always be trying to charge itself as long as it's hitting sunlight. It does have a flashlight at the end, which is kind of dumb, but for, you know, emergency rescue situations, I guess it works. There's a couple indicators for if it's overheating or how much juice it has. It goes by bars. I mean, usually when I'm backpacking out there, what do I need to charge? I need to charge my Garmin, I need to charge my phone, I may need to charge a camera battery. And if that's all I have to charge for a couple of days, this thing is what I take. I don't have to add any solar panels. Works like a dream. And finally, if you're not taking a camera, if all you really have is your phone to charge, the Exped widget works phenomenally. I just think this thing is such a cool machine. At 40 bucks, we touched on it in my last gear review video on the best night's sleep. This thing is an actual pump. It can be a light in your tent, and it can also be a charging station like this. So for overnight, 1 to 2 night, 3 night trips, I pretty much take this, right? I'm not really needing to charge camera batteries too much. It's just my Garmin, it's just my phone, and this thing does the trick. Here are some outdoor adventures to inspire your next trip. More gear reviews down here. YouTube thinks you'll like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.